Assalamu alaikum, family. Peace, healing, and light. And welcome back to another episode of Healing with Angelica's podcast, where we discuss all things healing. And if you are new to the show, welcome, beautiful souls. On today's episode, I have a beautiful, amazing guest joining me today, Ramyiah X, as we will be discussing today's amazing topic, shadow work. Ramyiah, welcome, beloved. Thank you so much for joining me. How are you?
I'm good and you and assalamu alaikum. Peace and
Yes, wa alaikum salam. I am well by the grace of Allah. Thank you again for joining me today. Now, before we get started on today's amazing topic, do you mind letting our audience know just a little bit more about you?
yes, of course. One thing about me is that I registered into Nation Islam January 22nd, 2022. So I'm fairly new, and I am a college student and a dance instructor. I'm a junior in college, and I study psychology. And I'm heavy in the arts, so you know. Oh,
Yes. Yes, I love it. Thank you so much for that. And it's funny you said psychology. I'm thinking about getting into that. It's just something about the mind. It's just interesting to me. So might have to hit you up on that, see how you're feeling about it. Well, how are you liking psychology so far?
it's definitely something to study because
Mhm.
when it comes to the brain, I can easily apply that to myself. Not so,
Mhm.
not much so the brain, but more so the mind, because the brain and
Yes.
the mind are two different things. And when we're connecting the the organ with the spiritual side of it, it's a beautiful thing. That's all I have to say. Like
Yes.
psychology is much more than just how we think. It's how we
Mm.
operate from those thoughts that I'm very interested in. And when I'm readily able to um, apply those things to myself, it's just
Mhm.
so much easier to learn. So just
Yes.
for me, it's nice.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Thank you for that. Yes, I really think that's something that I want to tap into. And I love how you didn't really go into detail, but I can tell that, just from what we've been taught and just get into psychology, you can tell the relation to it. So I love it. All praise be to Allah. Now let's get started on today's amazing topic, shadow work. Shadow work has been a spiritual practice for those that have been on their healing journey, grown into their consciousness. However, what is shadow work? Shadow work is working with your unconscious mind to uncover the parts of yourself that repress and hide from yourself. I'm sorry. This can include trauma or parts of your personality that you're subconsciously consider undesirable. Anyone can do shadow work on their own. And in the context of that brings me to my first question for you, Ramyiah. What started your journey into shadow work?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, I had a quite interesting childhood. Um, I'll actually bring something up, like something very traumatic for me.
Mm.
When I was younger, I would always have these dreams. And I guess I shouldn't even call them dreams because they're not really dreams, they're experiences.
Mm.
And they would always be demonic. And I would always go through these portals. 9 times out of 10, I would get hurt in my sleep. Sometimes I would end up under my bed. I don't know what was over my life, but it wasn't a good energy.
Yes.
And that's something that I carried with me for a very long time, just those thoughts. And as I got older, there were more things that happened to me. And of course, we all go through things.
Mm.
And they were unaddressed because I didn't know how to address my experiences because I didn't
Mm.
get help. And once I got to the age, which is this age, 20, 19, 20, 18, once I got to that age, I started to become aware that if I don't do something about this, then this will keep going on. And as I got older, I realized, oh, I can heal myself.
Yes.
I can heal myself. I don't need to, and some people should, like, get therapy, but we have the ability to heal ourselves if we would
Mhm.
just ask ourselves why. Like,
Mm.
truly ask ourselves why. But because we don't ask ourselves why, because it's so hard and we're afraid of what may come up,
Mhm.
we allow these patterns to keep going on.
Exactly.
We end up just losing our mind at one point.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's something that I noticed in me. When I went away to school, that's when I just hit rock bottom.
Mm.
I really hit rock bottom, and the only person that was there was Allah.
Mm.
He's the one that brought me to the nation of Islam.
Yeah.
And ever since, I'm just very thankful that I joined and that I acted upon that, because I joined thinking like, oh, if I join, this gonna solve all of my problems. I got in. That's not the case.
Yeah.
That's not the case, because
Mhm.
now I've entered the classroom of God.
Mhm.
And now it's trial, 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 trials. Like, it's a purification process. But back to your question, what got me into shadow work? Really, my experiences and not having the help that I needed. So I had to be for myself what I couldn't get from my parents, or what
Mhm.
I couldn't get from my friends or anyone else.
Mm.
This is a process that's with Allah and
Mhm.
myself, because who knows me better than myself and Allah?
Yes, yes,
You know?
yes.
So it's the best thing for me. And like I said, I'm in that process right now. I'm still learning how to do shadow work and
Mhm.
what that really means for me. Like, I journal a lot. I,
Yeah.
I really study myself. I
Mm.
study
Mhm.
myself, and I look at my patterns. I look at my negative thoughts. I look at how I end up back in the same place.
Yeah.
I study those things so that they don't keep happening again.
Mm.
And I also study them to see where did that even come from, so that I can just uproot it. But I hope that answered your question.
Yes, 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 that is beautiful. Thank you so much for that. Like when it comes to shadow work, because I definitely believe that, in order for us to, or like some of us, like you said, it got to a point with you to where it seemed like, okay, you had enough. Like you you need to figure out what's going on. You need to see what you can do, see how you can get through this. And I'm realizing in my healing journey, as I'm still healing every day, I can't move forward until I address those issues in the past. And with that, honestly, it's not, I mean, I guess it ain't supposed to be fun, but it's not fun. And I think a lot of us try to push it to the back, and just ignore it. But I really believe that if you don't take the time to address it, in some way, shape, or form, it will end up coming back to surface. So, with me saying that, what was it that, because once you found out that, okay, you need to do some shadow work, what was your first step? Like, what was the first thing you started doing?
The very first thing I started doing was praying, because
Mm.
I can't do anything, and I noticed that it don't matter what I try to do or how I try to do it, or if I even think it's the best way possible. If I don't have Allah's hand in it, and if I'm not in constant communication with Allah first, then it means nothing. Like,
Mm.
my good intentions are just in vain. And so that was the first thing I started doing. Anytime I do shadow work, even now, I pray first. I strive to pray first. Let me not say all the time.
Yes,
Um,
ma'am.
but I do strive to pray first, because that's who all of my answers will come from.
Hmm.
And that's whose grace I feed on every single day.
Mm.
So I put him
Yes,
first.
yes, yes, yes. I love that. What, when, how can I say this? Did you have like when you started your doing your shadow work, do you think you had a pretty decent relationship with Allah before you started the shadow work? Because I know you said, when you started shadow working, doing the shadow work, I'm sorry, you started praying. Was this after like you joined the nation and you just started praying, or were you doing all this before you entered the nation?
So I was doing shadow work before I entered the nation.
Mm-hmm.
I come from a very, what they call, spiritual background.
Yes.
Spiritual background where I did a lot of journaling.
Mm.
A lot of journaling. I've always been in tune with Allah in a way. Maybe not like I am now, but I always had some kind of connection to him.
Yes.
Um, and even then, when I hit rock bottom from doing what I thought was spiritual,
Mm-hmm.
that was the first person I called on. The first person I called on because that was the only person I had.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes.
Yes, yes, yes. Wow. All praise be to Allah. Now, why do you believe that going back to address past traumas is important when trying to heal generational traumas?
That is a good question. I'm going to try my best to answer.
Yes, ma'am.
I think I'm still learning that myself
Mm-hmm.
and learning why it is important. But the first thing that came to my mind is that if we don't go back, like you just said, those things will eventually rise back to the surface.
Mm.
Trauma is not only just a mental thing, it's on is it anatomical? Yeah. It's on an anatomical level, a biological level, a physical level, a physiological. Like, it's everything because it's all in our bloodline. It's all up in us.
Mm-hmm.
And when we choose not to deal with that, those coming after us, they got to deal with the same stuff
Mm-hmm.
that those before them didn't deal with. Hence our generation.
Yes.
Like, we're dealing with stuff that our great, great, great grandmother did not deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And she can't come back and deal with it. So we have to be the ones to fix that which she did not deal with and fix our own things so that those coming after us do not have to deal with that. And I feel like that's just love. And God is love. And we are God's people. And I just feel like that's a part of Allah's will over our lives is to heal that trauma so that our people can go free. But if you don't have love for yourself, you can't have love for your people. And in order to obtain that love for yourself, there are many avenues you can take, but I feel like the core of loving yourself is to understand yourself and to go back, even if it hurts. You know? So
yes, that was beautiful. I love that. All praise be to Allah, sis. I love that. So even earlier you spoke on just, and now, you just spoke on just how it's just so important to know who you are. And I love the fact that like I I've been writing in journals ever since I was a little girl. And like a couple years ago, it came back in my mind like I like to write. Like this is what I do. I like journal, like writing. And within that content, I always have like a little notepad with me, or whatever case may call it. Like whenever I'm listening to something, just so I can note it down, so I can remember. But what I'm also doing as well is like in the process of still getting to know who I am. And I love how you said earlier, you check yourself, you check how you feeling. You're checking where these negative thoughts are coming from. You checking, just things about yourself throughout the day. I mean, I'm guessing throughout the day because I do it too. Sometimes I'm like, okay. And the only reason me and you can say, and I mean, I don't want to speak on your end, but I know that I can say that the only reason how I got to this is growing into knowing who I am. And that's the reason why I had to go ahead and do the shadow work, because it taught me more of who I am. So in that context, like, why is it so important to know who you are?
why is it so important to know who you are? Woo, these are some profound questions.
I'm sorry, girl. I get a little deep here.
I love that. We got to. That's how we get to the bottom of the thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Why is it important to know yourself? Ooh, I'm trying to search my spirit for this one.
It's okay. Take your time. Listen, it's fine. That's I'll be having things I'm like, dang, wow.
Yeah, like this is not something I think about on a daily basis. Well, hmm, the first thing that came to my mind is that if I don't know myself, I can't allow others to be blessed with my essence. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
And I feel like if I don't know myself, I do a disservice to Allah because He made me somebody.
yes.
You know, He made me somebody to express. He put me here. He put you here, Sister Angelica, to give something to this earth that is lacking.
Mm,
You know, and we're not just a speck on this earth. Like we're here and we're God's. And oh my gosh, this is giving me chills because
I know. I feel it too. I'm really got the chills right now. I'm about to cry.
I'm about to too, but I'm not gonna cry on here. I just like when I think of that question, I just think I can only think of Allah because
Mm-hmm.
He put in us an essence to share with this earth. And every time we shun that essence, every time we decide not to get to know, or at least attempt to get to know our essence, it's just a smack in the face. So,
Mm,
like just a huge smack in the face. Like, I'm not good enough. I don't want to get to know myself. I don't love myself. Like, those are all of the feelings that come from not knowing yourself. And when you don't know yourself, this is a very bad thing. When you don't know yourself, you allow other people to treat you any kind of way.
mm,
You allow other people to tell you who you are because somebody said it. They said if you don't know yourself, somebody will tell you who you are.
mm,
And that is the worst thing that can happen because you will start living in that avenue, in that
mm-hmm.
spirit of who they said that you are. And
Mm-hmm.
that's gonna go against your whole essence. You just gonna feel it in your whole spirit
Yes.
that that's not who you are. And knowing yourself is just very, very, very crucial in connecting with Allah and serving your purpose on this earth because everything that comes from you that is of substance to Allah's will is from you knowing yourself. And that's all that came out of my heart for that question.
Mm. Alhamdulillah, that was so beautiful. I told you, girl, I said you almost made me cry. I felt it, and I felt the chills. Like anytime that I put myself out there in regards to speaking or talking and talking about my healing journey and being in service of assisting others on their healing journey, because I always tell people I'm not your healer. I'm just here to assist you on a journey, on your healing journey, because we all have the ability to heal ourselves. You just need that push. You need somebody to help you. I'm here to help, you know?
Yes, ma'am.
So, but I cannot say that I just can't say that I wouldn't have been able to get to where I am now, for one, without a lie, and for one, without the knowledge of self. Because like you said, like if we don't know who we are, then someone is able to put their own perspective on us and tell us who we are. And as you know, Sister Ramyiah, like our oppressors have been telling us who we are for so long, and we as a people have became just our oppressors all over again, just different color, you know. So when you wake up to the knowledge of self, you're able to know your purpose, know why God has you here, know what it is that you need to do for self, and also being able to I won't say, like, for me, what I'm really feeling is like what I notice with myself is like, oh, I'm a big people pleaser. Like, I'm always want to, please people and stuff like that. But in the back of my mind, as I'm doing the shadow work, that was lack of abandonment, or just lack of not getting love. So I want to give my love so much to people, and people were taking advantage of me.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have the power to say no. We can't do this. No, setting boundaries. So in that context, it's so important to get to know yourself while you're going through this journey of shadow work. That's what shadow work do. Shadow work help you get to know yourself, get to know who you are, get to know why did you put yourself through this? Why did this happen? Why did that happen? Why do you have these habits or behaviors that you can't stop? So I love it, Ramyiah. All praise be to Allah. And if you all are enjoying this episode just as well as I am, please show your support by donating today to Cash App $Healing with Angelica to help sustain future episodes just like this. I will also leave more info to donate on the screen below. I love you all. Now let's get back to today's amazing topic with my beautiful sister, Ramyiah X, shadow work. So, oh my God, this has been great so far. That last question kind of just had me like, ooh, it's so important to know who you are. I'm sorry, I'm rambling about it, but I always tell people about this, and I get teary eyed because I look at our people. I'm like, oh my gosh, you don't know who you are. No, don't let people do this. Like, I get so emotional about it. So, like, doing a shadow work is addressing yourself, like addressing the other side of you, and being able to, my opinion is being able to become one with it, because those traumas happen for a reason. Like, I feel like, it's okay to have fear at certain times in your life, but it's not okay to allow the fear to overtake you to where it becomes your life.
Right.
So that was a big thing for me. So, in the mentioning of fear, Sister Ramyiah, why do you believe people fear doing shadow work?
Woo! Look at me. Honestly, that is a beautiful question, because it's a why inside of a why. And honestly, the reason I feel like people fear doing shadow work because they are afraid of their own monsters. Look, because Minister Ava, may Allah be pleased, I love her.
Oh my gosh, man. Whew.
Well, she was a powerful woman.
Yes.
She said in her book, and it's not verbatim, she said in the Force and Power of Being book, she said that we have a Leviathan in all of us. And a Leviathan is a sea monster, but it's at the deep, 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 deep depths of the sea.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
It's so far down that we can't even get down there, like, because we would burst into little pieces. But it's so far down. That's the point. It's so far down, and it's dark. It's gloomy. You can't see nothing. And those are the very places we go when we're doing shadow work. And when we don't have light, the moment we don't have light, we trying to swim back up. It's too much darkness. It's too much. But Allah does not put on any soul what it cannot bear. And I know personally for me, because I can only give my own experience, I have been afraid to do shadow work, or I've been fearful of doing shadow work because things were going too good. It was inconvenient. I didn't want to hear inconvenient truth.
Yes.
I just wanted the reassuring lies, because that's what kept my little comfortability going on. But that same comfortability kept me stuck and in a cycle. And it was just no good, because what Allah promises for us if we go through that fire is much more beautiful than we can even fathom.
Mm.
But when we continue to stay in that comfortability, we just slowly kill our dreams. We
Yes.
kill ourselves, we kill our spirit, because on the other side of comfortability is peace,
Mm.
is blessedness, is grace. But we got to go through the fire. We got to be purified to even be qualified for those things.
Mm.
So I just have been fearful, because there are days I still get scared to visit certain places back in my past. But I don't allow that fear to overcome me after prayer. Because if I say I believe in Allah, then I know that He will give me the light necessary to get me through that hard time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have to stand on what we believe and actually
Yes.
live through that. And it's the Leviathan. Like, a Leviathan is ugly. It's scary. It looks like it's gonna eat us. But we will overcome it, because
Mm-hmm.
we have a God that is so strong. And it's the Satan himself that keeps us from addressing the Leviathan, because this Leviathan, it just hovers over us
Yes.
to keep us afraid. But if we really know Allah and we know who we are, that's why it's important to know who we are. Because if we know who we are, and that's why I'm thankful for the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
don't sleep. Don't sleep.
Please don't sleep on him, man. Whew.
Don't sleep, because he is bringing us back to our true nature and who we are. He is reversing the making of a devil. He is reversing it. We're going back into the direction of God's, because that's what we once were.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we still are, but we have to show up as a God.
Yes.
But shadow work is a scary thing. It could be scary by the time I'm 82. It could be. I don't know. I'm far from it. But it could still be scary, and guess what? I'm still gonna keep choosing to do the shadow work, because once you do it, it's not even that scary anymore.
Mm.
It's just like, you thought it was big and bad, but it's really not.
Mm.
It's really not. It's an illusion. Well, because there is false evidence appearing real.
Mm-hmm.
It's not real. So, yes.
Oh my gosh. All praise be to Allah, beloved. I love that so much. And I can a lot of like you stated before, I mean, I can say I'm still going through the shadow work, getting to know myself and trying to take the steps to, you know, um, address certain issues. And what I realize is that I I know for me, any reason why I may not have wanted to go back to it, because I didn't want to feel it no more. Like, I don't want to feel that. I don't want to cry and I don't want to feel it. But you have to feel it again, unfortunately. And this is going to go for my next question for you. But when you have faith and you are in constant connection with Allah, then you're able to feel it and not allow it to feel you. Like you feel it, but it's not you. That's not you no more. You have to feel that again, because we forgot. It's so far in our subconscious. It's like we forget, so we have to rehash those memories again, rehash those traumas, so we can address it. We're scared to address, you said, the monsters inside of us.
Mm-hmm.
We're scared of them. Like, and the only enemy we have is within us. No one's outside of us. It's within. So I just love how you said that, because I like I said, I can say, like, I just, I told myself, because I dealt with a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear, and as I'm growing and learning, and I'm so very grateful for the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Like I woke up, like, oh, I'm getting emotional. It was like I woke up, like, what? Message to the Black Man was the first book I read. I said, oh yeah, what? I felt so good about that. It was like, there's no way that this it's just not, this is not it. This is it. And everybody needs to know this, because this is what helped me. And I'm still going through the healing, still getting to know myself, and still trying to learn to trust Allah. Trust him, because I realize that, and I'm so glad that you brought it up earlier. We go into prayer, but we have to trust what we prayed about. We got to trust that Allah is going to help us through it. Like, okay, you prayed about it, but you doubting now. You know, he's going to give you the light, but are you what are you doing?
Exactly.
You know? So it's such a beautiful thing, such a beautiful journey, because we have to do it. And I believe that this is a great way for us all. Once you get to know who you are, you're able to not you are able to address things and be able to come out of anything victorious, and also be able to show your children and your children's children just a better way of life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think that's another reason why I told myself, like, I'm not doing this for me. I have a 2-year-old. So I'm not doing this for me. I have to do this for him, because I don't want him to hurt from my hurt, because I don't want to deal with it. That's selfish.
Yes, ma'am. And can I say one thing?
Yeah, go right ahead, beloved.
It's not enough to just do it for ourselves. Like, it's just not enough. It's not sufficient. It's not adequate. It's just not enough. You know, when you think of, oh, I want to do this for myself, it just stops at you. It doesn't stop at the end of at least one generation. You know, it's so much more than us. And that is one thing that I'm learning. It's not all about me. And I know, like, you know, we don't do zodiac signs, but I would always be classified as a Leo, because I think the world revolves around me. First of all, it does. But now I'm starting to I realize it does not.
Yes, ma'am.
It does not, because it's all about those coming after us. So that was very beautiful what you said, because this reminded me to not be selfish and to for those coming after us, because those are the ones who are going to be the trailblazers. We are, but we trailblazers of our ancestors.
Yes. All praise be to Allah. Yes, beloved. I thank you for that. So, like, when I think about my why, I look at, and you know, like you said, it's not enough just to do it for ourselves. We have became selfish people, you know, so selfish enough that we don't even look at, you know, and I love how you just brought up, like, you know, Allah created us for a reason, for a purpose, and it's like a slap in his face when we don't use our gifts. We don't come here and do what it is that we're supposed to. It's like, what, really? Like, sometimes I can, like, really feel like I can get in the mind of Allah. He probably like, why are you doing this to yourself? You know, like, no, you're special. Like, Black man, Black woman, like, I created you. Like, this is your world, you know? Like, so all praise is due to Allah. Sister Ramyiah, this has been a great topic. I love it so much. I'm forgetting that we're recording. It's like a one-on-one conversation for
Exactly.
Yes, ma'am. Now, before we end today's show, I did have just one more question for you. Now, I truly believe that, because how can I say this? As I've been on this journey to Islam, I just registered here to just a few months ago, on October 2nd of 2022, end of last year. But I've been studying the teachings for going on 3 years now. I just was so scared to really join, because I knew, like, this is it. If I'm joining it, that means I gotta really be a new person now. I just, like, you know. So, but it was like, it came to a point in me, I was like, I feel like this is my life. My life and my death is all for Allah. And it's like, I can't see myself doing nothing else but helping him in the resurrection of our people. I feel like that's just what I need to be doing. So I have to, like, this is it. So with me saying that, though, Sister Ramyiah, like, why why is it so important, even to those? Because I used to be one of those people, like, I wouldn't even say that I have a religion or anything that I believe in. I'd be like, oh, it's a spirit, whatever I thought back then. But we woke up to conscious and we know now, God is a real person. He's alive and very well. However, for because I believe that God is very important when it comes to shadow work. Um, but for those who may not have probably a deep connection with God at this time to do the shadow work, what advice would you give them? Because I hope I'm saying this right. Because it's like, I don't believe that you can really, really get into your shadow work without not having that comfort from God, because it's scary. It's hard, and without him, it's like, how are you going to really get through it? So how could one who doesn't have a relationship with Allah God, or as spiritual as we are, be able to be able to get through shadow work?
So that is a great question. All I could think about was like, how do you do it without Allah? Because every time I did it knowing that there was a spirit and a man backing me. So I wouldn't know how to do it without Allah. But the first thing I would do if I didn't have a deep relationship with Allah, because I'm trying to think outside of just myself. Um, I would just start with myself because we are gods. We are a reflection of Allah. Just start with yourself. Even if you don't pray first, start with yourself. Ask yourself the questions, and rest assured you gonna find Allah.
Yes,
You
yes.
will find him. And even if you're not considered, you don't consider yourself, spiritual. Um, I advise the same exact thing. Um, do the work. Just do the work. Everybody does their work differently. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but rest assured, though, you will find a lot along the way. It's just a matter of will you acknowledge him when he knocks.
Mm.
Because if you don't, you miss your own beat.
Mm.
But he'll come back around, knock a second time. But it's all about what you notice. We have to learn how to impeccably listen. I remember Queen Afua spoke about that, about impeccably listening. And what that means is actually listening, not doing so much talking, but
Mm-hmm.
listening. Because when we decide to listen, especially on an internal level, we get all of the answers. Like you already have the answers on the inside of you.
Yes.
You already have the answers. And that is because we are gods. We are God's children. We are a reflection of the Most High. So if you don't have a deep relationship with God, find Him.
Mm.
That's my first step. Find Allah first.
Yes.
That's the one who's going to save you from all of this chaos.
Whew.
Else, if you don't find Him, you'll find yourself right back in the same place, square one. Let's go. Square one again. Let's. It's just like it's an illusion if you think that
Yes.
from point A to point B without a God
Mm-hmm.
coordinating this thing. It's just not. It's not possible.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, I love how you said that. Back to square one. It's like all over again. Yes, you failed the test. Come back around. Do it again.
No, for real, you can't do nothing without Allah. We're every time we think we can do something without Allah, that's insanity.
Mm.
That's insanity. Like we do not control what is in the heavens and the earth. Allah does that. He is in
Exactly.
control of everything. He gonna let you walk around the track. He'll let you do it, but rest assured he's just watching you walk around the track because he already know where you're gonna end up.
Mm.
And so hey,
Yes, ma'am.
we have free will and we have Allah's will.
Mm-hmm.
So every time we decide to do our own thing, that's just the will He granted us. He allowed it, but that does not mean that that's His will. So,
Ooh, you on fire today, Sister Ramyiah. I love that.
it's your energy too, sis. It's
Oh,
your energy too.
all praise be to Allah. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, sis. Ramyiah, thank you so much for joining me today to discuss this amazing topic, shadow work. I would also like to thank my amazing audience and healing tribe for joining us today. I pray this episode was informative, valuable, and healing to you all. Also, be sure to share, like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any upcoming episodes on any of your favorite podcast stations. Closing the Gap Broadcast Network on Facebook and YouTube, and Healing with Angelica's podcast on Facebook and YouTube to help get the message out to those in need of healing and light. Also, if you are ready to start your healing journey, I am offering a 1-hour discovery call with a copy of my ebook, Heal Yourself, for free. More information will be in today's show notes, including information for today's amazing guest, my sister, Ramyiah X. Ramyiah, before we end today's show, do you have any closing remarks for our audience today?
I just want to say I feel honored to be on Sister Angelica X's podcast. I absolutely love her energy. She has angel energy, which is maybe why her name is Angelica. Like, I love your energy, sis, and please continue to keep doing what you're doing because you are doing groundbreaking work. I've seen your videos, I've seen a lot of things, and keep going. That's all I gotta say, sis.
Alhamdulillah, beloved sister. All praise be to Allah. I am so grateful and I thank you so much for those beautiful, kind words. I love your energy as well. I seen your page like, oh yeah, we're gonna connect. Let me get her on. You know, we doing this healing thing. Let's do this healing thing together, sis, you know. So yes, I love it. Thank you so much again for joining me today, Sister Ramyiah. You keep doing your work and I love it. And thank you all for joining us today. And we leave you all as we came. Assalamu alaikum. Peace, healing, and light.